Good Monday morning. It is Christmas week, and this is the Monday Morning Show sponsored by HB Neal Construction. Not much going on satellite and radar, really the last 6 hours, sponsored by Switch Electric. We're starting to see some very, very isolated showers into the region, more active over there towards New Orleans and Gulfport. We're going to continue seeing the cloud cover throughout the day and throughout the week. Let's dive into our Monday morning show. Here we are looking at our current temperatures. It is pretty warm and pretty humid out there. We have that dense fog advisory, really bad along Interstate 10 and down towards the coast. That's where the fog is the worst. Temperatures mainly into the 60s and already into the 70s over here in Houston. If you're wanting to get into the 50s, it's still pretty much warm into the upper 50s far to the north, but majority of the region is into the 60s, already into the low 70s. And pretty much that's about what we've been the last couple of days. Not a big change. Some areas 2 degrees cooler, some areas 2 degrees warmer. We're really about the same that's been the last couple of days, and that's going to be really the same forecast the next couple of days. Just warm mornings, warm nights, warm days, foggy conditions at night, foggy mornings. All of that fog typically lifts around 10 o'clock in the morning, worst case scenario around 11. Here we are with the outdoor and construction forecast for today, sponsored by Modern Concrete and Material. We have the foggy conditions this morning, should lift about 9 to 10 o'clock this morning. There can be some drizzle, light showers, but other than that, not a bad day at all. Just mainly going to have lots of cloud covers throughout the day today. Cloud cover, not cloud covers. Cloud cover throughout the day today. Temperatures topping off into the upper 70s later on this afternoon. Here we are. We've got pretty much this high pressure ridge that's going to be setting up over our region. This is like a spring to summer-like pattern. Jet stream is far, far to the north. That's where all the cold air is, and we're warm and moist for not only just the south, but majority of the country. We don't actually see our next cold front until this weekend on Sunday, getting into early next week. So there is light at the end of the tunnel for the warmer weather that we're having. We're about to finally get into December-like weather once we get into the late weekend, Sunday into early next week. But let's look at the futurecast for today, sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services. Lots of cloud cover. We can have some light rain, some drizzle. Really, the coverage is low, 10 to 20% coverage, and that's going to be the main thing that we see this afternoon. And then overnight tonight, lots of cloud cover, and that's going to continue throughout the day on Tuesday. Notice that Tuesday looks dry. That's because that high pressure is really going to be over our region, keeping everything pretty calm. Main story is going to be just the warm, muggy conditions every single day. The chance for some isolated showers is mainly this afternoon, and again, coverage is low. Then we dry out the rest of the week, and I'll show you the rainfall outlook here in a second. Here's the biggest story. It's going to be the temperatures. Middle to upper 70s, close to 80 degrees almost every single day. We likely will hit 80 degrees as we get into Friday into Saturday. Cold front comes in on Sunday, and it's a pretty nice cold front because temperatures actually get back into the 60s as the highs early next week, with overnight lows back into the upper 30s to 40s. So very much so like December weather that we should see. Here's a preview for what Christmas Eve and Christmas Day is pretty much going to be. It's the same forecast almost every single day. We can have foggy nights and foggy mornings. That fog lifts around 10 o'clock in the morning. Upper 50s to low 60s, what we'll see in the overnight lows. And then as we get into the highs, likely going to be into the upper 70s coming up on Christmas Day. Happy holidays to everybody. Cannot believe it's already Christmas and it's about to be 2026. Rainfall outlook, again, we have that 10 to 20% coverage today. High pressure builds in, keeps us dry pretty much the rest of the week. And then we have that cold front that comes in on Sunday, and it's a pretty strong one coming in. That's going to give us some widespread showers, possibly some isolated thunderstorms, but the biggest thing is that's going to be the best chance to see our widespread rain. High temperatures today will be into the middle to upper 70s, thanks to our sponsor of Dana Simmons Real Estate Team. Overnight lows, it looks like it's going to be pretty warm, right? Look at all that yellow and orange. Mainly going to be into the 60s. Some areas like Galveston could get close to that 70-degree mark. If you're looking for the 50s, that will be far, far to the north and far to the east. But main thing you're going to see is the warm, muggy conditions overnight tonight. Let me move my big head out of the way. Here's our 7-day forecast for Southeast Texas. Warm conditions all the way through Christmas Eve and Christmas on Thursday. We finally get our best chance of rain on Sunday when a nice cold front comes in. Temperatures get back into the 60s early next week with overnight lows back into the upper 30s to 40s. Very much so like December-like weather, but just not seeing it the next 5 to 7 days. It is warm this year for Christmas. Same thing for Southwest Louisiana. It is warm not only today, but the rest of the week. Christmas Eve on Wednesday is going to be into the upper 70s. Christmas Day in the upper 70s. That will stick around the rest of the week. Finally get a cold front that moves in on Sunday, bringing us widespread showers and rain, giving us 50% coverage, and then cooler weather is on the way for early next week. If you have not yet, please go download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. That way you can see the temperatures across the United States. This is going to be a fairly warm Christmas, not only here locally, But look, all the way up to Oklahoma, Denver, all the way up to Nebraska, they are going to be pretty much warm. Even Salt Lake City at 76 degrees. It is going to be warm, to say the least. Actually, no, I was looking at St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri is going to be 76, and Salt Lake City for this time of year, 57 is still fairly warm. Tampa and Miami going to be into the upper 70s. Brownsville at 84 degrees. Again, if you have not yet, please go download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It has all the neat features that you need. Again, if you're traveling for this Christmas holidays, so you go to New York, you'll get all the weather updates that's going on in New York. If you're coming back home, you'll get everything that you need. We'll have more updates throughout the day on Facebook. Our next video update will be later this evening with Mr. Lucas Boswick. I will see y'all on Tuesday morning. Have a good Monday, and thanks again for joining us.